Hi, it's me, Katie. Welcome back to Steal the Spotlight. I'm pretty keen for today's video concept. It's something I've been meaning to tackle for the longest time, and since then I've seen other people kind of touch on it, so I'm glad that we're all on the same page here. Yes, we're talking about one of the most influential forms of media for my personal childhood. It is teen films, and specifically the costume designing and why the mean girls had to pop off so. Like, pretty sure they didn't have to go that hard. I've got so many I am dying to get into, but first I want to give a quick word from today's video sponsor, which is award-winning VPN Surfshark. So the version of Netflix you see can be completely different to people on the other side of the world, but with Surfshark, you're able to quickly and easily change those location settings and then instantly have access to a ton more of your favorite content. Pretty much Netflix is pro gatekeeping, and Surfshark is here to say sharing is caring. Even down to the fact that they allow you to have unlimited devices under just one account, which is great because if you share your Netflix account with others, they're able to get in on the action too and discover which countries suit their taste best. Whether you're looking for some more iconic films, come over to Australia to enjoy some more K-dramas, get your RuPaul's Drag Race fix without a separate subscription, or even go ahead and binge some more anime. Of course, that's not all Surfshark have to offer. Amongst many things, they also ensure your privacy and safety online by protecting all of your personal information. You can use my code SPOTLIGHT to get 83% off plus 3 extra months for free. And since they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, you can try it all risk-free via the link on screen and down below in the description box. I feel like I kind of have to start with probably the main character that comes to most people's mind when you talk about the mean girl trope, of course, Regina George. She has a lot of cute looks. I'd say her main outfit formula consists of a cute top and a mini skirt. The plastics in general are of course synonymous with the color pink.
On Wednesdays we wear pink.
So I've got two options I want to try, one slightly more iconic than the other. All of the members kind of incorporated the color in their own way, and with Regina I found she often paired it with black, which I think makes perfect sense for her character. This style of skirt I think perfectly embodies her energy. The cardigan, I wish it wasn't a fuzzy texture, that doesn't feel very Regina-esque to me, but this color definitely works better than just the classic pink cardigan I have. These I feel like are a little bit too old lady-ish for Regina, but the closest thing I have to her little heeled thong sandals. I'm certainly not reinventing the wheel with this look. It's pretty much the only outfit I have today that is quite similar to an exact recreation, but I think that comes down to her style actually having quite simple pieces when you break it down, so it is pretty easy to recreate at home without having to find these super unique pieces. This is the other option I have for her from when she first meets Katie. I believe we only see the top half with the glorious sweater vest combo. I love this look, but to me it almost feels a little bit too preppy to be considered a signature Regina ensemble, because typically the preppy styles are reserved for Gretchen, but I guess with the inclusion of black it does keep it more within her wheelhouse. For me, someone who just completely nailed this trope is Megan Fox as Carla Santini in Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. I actually did a Lola look in my dressing like Disney characters a little while ago, and so many of you said how much you actually preferred Carla's style. The thing that's tricky about Carla is she's very much daddy's little girl with an unlimited credit card, so there's a lot of designer going on. So we're gonna have to make do. I have this, which is somewhat reminiscent of a Burberry skirt. The other way to still emulate a similar vibe is to try and recreate the style of silhouettes of the time. So as a result, although it's not exact, it feels like something that you would see in her wardrobe. Just imagine the top is Dior and the necklace is Tiffany's. I thought I was just gonna have to wear my sad little heels again, but I just looked and she's actually wearing matching just below the knee Burberry boots, which of course I also do not have, so we're just gonna go with plain black, which I think actually brings us into more classic territory rather than just being of the time. However, if we did want to play into that corny sort of vibe, I do have this Burberry inspired bucket hat. Okay, yeah, literally just with one accessory we have instantly transported to another time. It's up to you whether you preferred it camped up. Typically I am all for more is better, but I don't know, today I feel like maybe without So the other look that I want to tackle for Carla is kind of her take on business casual, her little power suit moment when they're running to find out whether they got the part they wanted. She's quite manipulative in her outfit choices at times, even down to the fact that when she wears pastels, it's typically because she's trying to be seen as more of a sympathetic character and have a softer nature. Sadly, mine is leaning a little bit more business to her casual. I think that's because hers is more so in a chambray sort of fabric. It has the white piping and also the low rise, but I still think we can make this a cute fit. Once again, is it exactly what she wore? No, but it is believable that she would own this. Which also, by the way, I didn't do my disclaimer. I always feel so silly saying it, but keep in mind, I am just using things I already have in my wardrobe. So if you're like, oh, you should have had this, should have had that would make it so much better. I know that these outfits could be better, but we are not living in a perfect world. We are making do, and as long as I somewhat capture the essence, I'm happy enough, okay? One of my favorites when it comes to this mean girl trope is definitely Jawbreaker, because they kind of take it that extra step into a darker place. This is one of the few films that are actually from 1999 rather than the 2000s, but even then it has more of a retro feel to it. Things are very bodycon rather than frilly, slightly longer lengths on the skirts. There's various vibrant colors that are telling their own story. Not too sure how it's gonna turn out. I have a couple of options, none of which I have tried on, so you're gonna have to bear with me. I've even changed bras to try and push the girls up a little bit because clearly I'm not as blessed. I don't know, it just feels way too bland, and I know in theory I really need to add a neck scarf. However, in my brain, I feel like that's gonna read as very flight attendant. I can just tell this is not gonna be it. Like, I already know, I don't even have to look, it's a no. You see, it's just not low cut enough, and the colors are still kind of giving Qantas flight attendant. Okay, I think I'm happy enough to count this as my first official attempt. I'm still not crazy about it, but I do think that we have quite a few of the elements down, so let me know what you think. I really would have loved to attempt her red skirt, blue sweater top look. The only thing I have that's somewhat similar is this, which is, I feel like, a little bit too covered up for her. It is still very figure hugging, so it's not as grandma as I thought it was gonna be, but hers is quite intense with, like, I think it's supposed to be mesh Argyle cutouts. Thinking of layering something over the top, like maybe this little white lace cami. I don't really have a bag that works, but I do think that this little plaid one is probably the closest, but also currently considering switching out for the white shoes instead. Yeah, I think I am leaning towards the white. I still want to try one more. We do see Courtney. It is Courtney Rose's character, right? We see her wear some purple, specifically when she creates and destroys Violetta. The full purple fantasy from head to toe. Could you not just see me strutting down the hallway? Like, I feel like it works, no? It's definitely in parts thanks to the fact that I just have so much purple shit to work with, but also I just think this style of top and skirt is more on brand. I was gonna say which one do you prefer, but I feel like this is the obvious choice. Perhaps one of the most blatant demonstrations of the villainization of hyperfemininity, at least in modern times, comes in the form of Sharpay Evans in High School Musical. This, along with so many teen TV and movies at the time, really played into the not like most girls narrative that I feel like, you know, we're still trying to shake the effects of today. So although she doesn't always wear pink, she actually has some fantastic looks where she's not. I feel like this is what she's most known for, and we should own it. I feel like if we really wanted to go hard on Disney Channel aesthetics, I should probably layer either leggings or jeans or something underneath the skirt. Oh my god, okay, I've got the jeans on and I just dug around in a box of old accessories to come out with this little sequin number. Shall we try the little metallic trucker jacket as well? Okay, I think I definitely need the white fluffy bag, but then we still have to choose between two classic Disney essentials, a skinny scarf or one of these, whatever you call these hats. Yeah, this feels absolutely criminal, which is how I know we have hit the nail on the head. I don't think I'm necessarily gonna try and modernize it. I just want to modify it to give us another option without the pants. Honestly, I feel like I want to find a new skirt because this is just too short. Like, it needed the jeans underneath it to work. I must admit this is feeling more like something we would see her actually in at school. I'm just glad that we finally made the beret and the scarf work together in an ensemble. Work is probably used quite loosely here because, you know, it's not really everyone's cup of tea, but if you're keeping that costumey mindset, I think it does. One of the easiest ways I think to transition mean girl into something a bit more chic is if it's paired with more of a femme fatale trope as well, which personally I think the 1999 film Cruel Intentions does perfectly. So of course that means that I'm going to be trying out one of Sarah Michelle Gellar's looks, which, a side note, she has had some iconic costuming in her time. This is no exception. I'm starting out with just this simple pair of black trousers. If you guys are ever on the lookout for more businessy sort of pants, definitely try the thrift store first. What really drew me to the original look was, although the pants were more on the conservative side, she teams it with a really sexy corset. She kind of has this beige champagne-y layer underneath, and hers is more in the same shape as the corset. I don't have anything like that, so I'm going to be layering this almost popcorn textured cardigan underneath. And yes, she is a tight squeeze, so give me a minute. Sorry, my camera ended up dying whilst doing that, so I just finished off the look, accessories and all, and I gotta tell ya, I think I'm obsessed with this one. Definitely my favorite thus far. To me, it just feels chic and sexy. There's something timeless about it, but at the same time, it's not boring, which I feel like can be a pretty tricky niche to hit, but somehow this is doing it. A film that probably deserves its own dedicated video because it is just that brilliant is Legally Blonde. I love that it completely flips the switch on the typical stereotype, like we've been saying, of pink equals bimbo equals villain. Elle, who almost exclusively wears the color, is one of the most lovable characters ever, and she's super smart, which means we get some variety once again through Vivian as our mean girl. She is obviously like of old money, rich, East Coast sort of style. This is very much Vivian's shade of blue when she does dabble in it. She also loves a bit of Argyle, so I'm gonna go with this little sweater over the top. Since the skirt is shorter, I'm gonna add some tights on underneath as well. I just went to put my normal silver necklace on. It was like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's gotta be pearls. And although she does dabble in a few hats, I feel like the safer option is just a simple headband. Shoes. Where are shoes? I think in this context, this totally works, and honestly isn't that dissimilar to some trends we saw last year and the year before. Even though I like this, I think I want to try the more brown neutrals as well. I actually have this Argyle sweater, and I'm even going to try it just over the blue to start with, because I think at one point she does that, and I'm like, ooh, it kind of works. I'm just trying to picture if it would even work without the bottom half before I fully commit. I have this blazer here as well, and this always gives me that sort of rich girl energy, because to me, rich girl and horse girl definitely have some overlap, and this is where the blazer resides. Yeah, I think we will go with this just because it's a point of difference. We already did a cardigan. Okay, am I crazy? Feel free to tell me if I am. I could just be overtired at this point, but I kind of feel like the black is still working, no? Also, another stereotype this film kind of breaks that I really appreciate is there's no traditional makeover scene. You know, Elle is still out there being her fabulous self whilst being successful, and Vivian, even though she kind of warms up to Elle throughout, and Elle and her actually end up being best friends, she doesn't feel the need to give her some sort of glamorous makeover either. So it's just nice that two people can exist as friends without actually looking the same. Okay, I'm just gonna bring these into frame and see if you can guess the next character. Also, by the way, sorry that they look a little bit ratty. They have been in storage for a little bit too long. So of course, I'm doing Shelby's iconic Halloween costume from A Cinderella Story. In my eyes, Shelby is like the classic textbook definition of mean girl in teen film, and I kind of love her for it because she always serves, but it's still very much believable and the sort of thing that the popular girl at high school would have been wearing at the time. Please know I am already aware that this is a very poor man's version of her original look, because I don't even have a long iconic white coat, so I'm going for this baby pink robe instead. I don't know, it kind of feels like something's missing. Like, do I need A diamante belt? No. Maybe it doesn't need anything. I'll just add the wings and see. Is this essentially a basic last minute costume idea? Yes. But the fact that it is referencing, in my opinion, such an iconic teen pop culture moment gives it bonus points, no? And you know what, Shelby? You go, girl. Whew, okay, I'm sorry, I just had to get the hell out of that. I'm sure you could tell the skirt was probably a size too small, so not very comfortable. But I just realized that there was another one I should have actually included back when we were talking about Legally Blonde, because it does kind of flip the switch as well, and it's 13 going on 30. Since the main character is essentially a 13-year-old in a 30-year-old's body, it means that she actually gets to have those more girly and innocent styles without it being painted as the villain, and rather just something of like a youthful dream, which leaves her frenemy with a stronger, slightly cold sort of style, but still fashionable nonetheless, since it is revolving around a fashion magazine. I want to try these pinstripe pants and live out my 2000s working girl realness. Okay, yes, I am very much convinced that this would be in her work wardrobe rotation. It almost has a similar sort of feel to it as something you would see Rachel Green in the later seasons of Friends. So some of my favorite movies to rewatch as a kid were, of course, like Clueless and 10 Things I Hate About You, but you guys have seen me tackle them before. But I also loved Never Been Kissed and Bring It On, and I've never featured them, so I kind of wanted to force at least one of them into this video. Bring It On, I feel like, is harder because there's really only two of them that are considered mean girls, and they just wear what everyone else wears. So I think we're gonna go with Never Been Kissed. And by the way, I am well aware that the premise is problematic. It was 1999, I have no idea what they were thinking, but I cannot take away from the costume design because the girls serve. And I guess something to note is that our trio of mean girls don't actually follow that outfit coordination that we usually see, but these girls refreshingly all get to have their own sort of distinct personal style, except of course for like the iconic prom moment where every one of them is a different version of Barbie. But for their everyday school looks, we have one who is dressed in more pinks, pastels, frills. One is actually fairly simple and classic in their style. And then we have Jessica Alba's character, who I would kind of categorize as a little bit more funky and playful and experimental with bright colors. So I know this probably comes as no surprise to you, but yes, I will be aiming for her style. And don't worry, I'm not trying to style these together, but I want to choose one to style the rest of the look around. I think if I went for the pants, I'd have to do quite a skimpy top. It might be too much stomach on show for my liking, so we'll go with the shirt. She has the cutest little haircut in this film, but I think I'm just gonna leave mine like this, maybe add a few clips and a couple of other accessories. You know what? I don't even think we see her enough to definitively say she wouldn't wear this, but I will admit I've taken some liberties. This is very much what I would want to wear if I was cast as a mean girl. Fun, it's spunky, and comparatively, from what we've seen today, a little bit more unique. I'm just glad we're ending it on a cute note here today. Let me know which looks were your favorite, who your favorite mean girls are, whether I included them or not, and maybe like some of your other favorite tropes that we could tackle in the future. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you again for watching, and hopefully I see you next time. Bye!